Something very strange is going on with Ron DeSantis, and yesterday it started making headlines. A lot of headlines. And something even more strange is happening with the wannabe Ron DeSantis social media influencers who are having a complete meltdown, reminiscent of the Democrats back in 2016. Rumors have been circulating for a while that Ron DeSantis allegedly wears lifts in his boots to try to make himself appear taller, and it seems that he always wears cowboy boots on the campaign trail. And yesterday, those rumors boiled over into what is now called bootgate. Everybody's heard of Russiagate and Watergate, and now we have bootgate, and this controversy is just getting started. This from New York Magazine. Yesterday, Ron DeSantis is almost definitely wearing lifts in his boots. Politico. 3 expert shoemakers say Ron DeSantis is probably wearing height boosters. It's everywhere now. Ron DeSantis swears he doesn't wear lifts. Experts say he's most definitely adding extra inches on the sly. It started boiling over when this video went viral of him walking very strange. And people just couldn't help but notice there was something very odd about his boots, particularly this screenshot here. How does that happen? Then he appeared on the Patrick Bet-David podcast, a very popular podcast, one that I've been invited on numerous times, by the way, but if you know me, you know that I rarely, if ever, do interviews, especially if it means that I would have to fly across the entire country. I'm just too busy for that, and I would rather just do my own thing. Although I do make an exception for Alex Jones. Once a year or once every other year, I will Skype in to Alex Jones' show, and I will be doing that next week to talk about my new book, which is dropping on Tuesday. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be on his show. It might be Tuesday, it might be Wednesday, it might be Thursday. More details on that later. And Patrick doesn't pull any punches. And so this happened.
I'm sure your marketing team points out how they're trying to troll you in the marketplace. Okay, I'm sure they're doing that. Can you bring this one clip? I know you were on, what do you call it? On, what was it? Bill Maher, and Bill Maher talked about the boots. I've seen you walk with these boots. Go ahead and play this clip. This on TikTok went viral. It doesn't have 1 million views. It doesn't have 10 million views. This thing's got 1.2 million likes. And some people are wondering,
what are they? I don't even. I haven't seen that.
They've not shown this to you. Okay,
No.
What they're trying to say with this is that in your boots you have heels.
No.
That's what they're trying to say.
Those are just standard off the rack Lucchese.
How tall are you? How tall are you, Governor? How tall?
5'11".
5'11". Okay. Why don't you wear tennis shoes and dress shoes?
I do wear tennis shoes when I work out. Yeah, 100%.
You do.
Yep.
Okay. I got a gift for you. I'd love for you to wear. Okay. I shop at Ferragamo. Okay. And
I don't accept gifts. I can't accept it.
I totally get it.
I'm sorry.
You got to admit that it is strange that he only wears cowboy boots. Even if a candidate was from Texas or Wyoming, they would at least wear dress shoes on the campaign trail sometimes, but not Ron. So that clip went viral, and then the meme makers went to work creating some of these gems. There's Ron DeSantis last year contemplating backstabbing Donald Trump. Here's some DeSantis brand boots, similar to the ones that he's always wearing. Here's an obviously AI-generated image that I am tempted to post on Twitter and caption that somebody within the campaign leaked it to me just to watch the DeSantis wannabe social media influencers completely freak out because they can't take a joke. And they'll accuse me of spreading fake news. And they'll say that this is not an actual photo. That's an AI image. But I did post yesterday that we should start asking about his boots more often because his fans and his wannabe social media influencers absolutely lost their mind. And then every single one of the DeSantis surrogates, from his campaign spokeswoman, Christina Bouchard, or whatever her name is, the one who looks like she has more collagen injected in her lips than Kim Kardashian, to turncoat Jenna Ellis, denounced me. We're on the brink of World War III, and some people think it's fun to talk about a man's cowboy boots as if it's some kind of insult. Grow up, she said. And I responded, so why waste your time addressing it like this then? And then she blocked me. And I'm not kidding. Virtually every single Never Trumper and turncoat and who's now Team DeSantis denounced me for simply just asking why he wears cowboy boots all the time. I'm not going to mention their names because I'm not going to give them the attention that they so desperately crave or the satisfaction of getting a shout out from yours truly, the conservative king of YouTube. But the funniest, most bizarre reaction of all was from this guy who says, and this is not parody, by the way, this guy is 100% serious, millions of dollars are being spent to pay influencers via dark money LLCs to talk about Ron DeSantis' boots and heights. Last week, the very same people pretended to be super serious geopolitical analysts screeching about World War III. They're just unserious shills and vapid hype men making the scummiest and least honorable living imaginable. Oh, and here's another meme, and this very well could be a Howard Dean or a Michael Dukakis moment, because bootgate isn't going away. But this clown and countless others, because I've seen the tweets and the replies from the DeSantis supporters accusing me of being paid to tweet about this, I got the call, are so insane that they just can't understand that there was just an organic reaction to a viral video, and then they fed the trolls, and so they have created a vicious cycle, hence giving birth to Bootgate. And after I posted this uncomfortable fact on Twitter, they proudly got me community noted, which is the supposed fact-checking system that adds context to tweets, just like YouTube does when you talk about certain subjects that they want to control the conversation about. And so they did get this bogus context or community note added when I simply said, if Trump loses in 2024, of course, DeSantis people will blame Trump supporters when they themselves fractured the party and aided Democrats by attacking Trump instead of uniting behind him. Typical leftist tactic. Blame others for what they themselves are guilty of. Trump started attacking DeSantis days before the 2022 midterms and spent almost $20 million on attack ads before he even announced. If that is true, it was obviously to try to dissuade Ron DeSantis from even getting into the race, because obviously it has fractured the party. And now all of the never Trumpers are getting the band back together. But this time, many of them are painting themselves into a corner that they're not going to be able to psychologically get out of. And if Donald Trump is the nominee, which all indications are pointing to that, then many of them may actually stay never Trumpers, like Ben Shapiro back in 2016, after Trump was the nominee, still dissuaded his audience from voting for Donald Trump. And so then, like I said, I am concerned that these Ron DeSantis supporters may ultimately cost us the election in the end. Donald Trump won in 2016 by only 80,000 votes. Now, he didn't get the popular vote because we have an electoral college system in the United States, which is the best system because that way California and New York don't decide the nation's elections. So every state has an equal weight. And so the way that the math figured out was 80,000 people in those key swing states ended up pushing him over the edge. And if Ben Shapiro wouldn't have been an ever-Trumper and tried to dissuade many of his viewers and listeners from voting for Donald Trump, that probably would have been bumped up by at least another 20, 30, maybe even 50,000 votes. And many of the DeSantis voters are saying that because Donald Trump supposedly lost in 2020, they're not going to vote for him in 2024 against Joe Biden because he'll probably lose a second time. Well, times have changed, and Joe Biden is aging like milk, and the country and the world is falling apart. And so many Biden voters, many centrists, many independents who voted for Joe Biden or just sat the election out because they didn't like Trump, they didn't like Biden, they're certainly not going to want a second term of what we're experiencing now.
Anyway.
And here he is back in 2020, before the dementia really started escalating.
The world has changed because what Trump has done. And the American people, including independents and some Republicans, know how bad he is, know how much he's misrepresented, know how he's getting close to getting us in a war. I said, as the walls close in on this man, I'm worried he's going to get us to war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. The fact of the matter is there's a lot at stake in this election.
If anybody gets us into war with Iran, it's going to be Joe Biden, who will be cheered on by the chorus of neocons like Nikki Haley, Dan Crenshaw, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, and all the rest. And there are some very interesting things about the neocons that the American people need to know, which, of course, I detail in my new book, which is coming out on Tuesday, November 7th. Some of them delve into some very sensitive areas that the conservative ink pundits definitely don't want to talk about. So it will be in stock on Amazon Tuesday morning, early in the morning. It might be a few more days until the ebook is in the ebook stores, but it will be in stock on Amazon Tuesday morning. And all that I'll say is that the cover design was made by the great graphic design artist, the cartoonist, Ben Garrison, and it is better than I could have imagined. And the quality of the cover is a perfect reflection of the quality of the content in the book. So I know you're going to love it. And stay tuned because it is coming soon.